Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Karen. Today I'm just going to be doing the 10 non-yarny things about me. I didn't get tagged, but I've seen it and I wanted to join in and thought it would be cool and interesting. A lot of fun to do. And then you can find out a little bit more about me. Okay, so let's go. Let's dig in. The first thing, number one, is I am double jointed, which is called joint hyperpigmentation. So I have a condition, a disease called osteogenesis imperfecti, and what it is it's a brittle bone disease, basically. I break very easily, and I have very loose joints, so double jointed, and can do things like that, where it goes right back like this. People like that. My elbows can do the same. My knees can do the same. I can bend pretty far and pretty elasticy. Certain things, like I can, go like this with my fingers. They can bend. The bone will end up kind of like bend, like soft, kind of manipulate, like the joints are loose too. And so I can like get my hand into areas and put them in different shapes that normal people, like everyday people who don't have this condition, can't do. Um, I can spread them super wide apart, and because they're very loose. The same thing with my toes; I can do the same thing. So yeah, a lot of people don't know that about me, and that's one thing. Two, I said this in the first question, because of the OI, the osteogenesis imperfecti. I break very easily, and I've probably broke around 15 to maybe 20 bones over my lifetime. A couple of bones, a couple of things I broke multiple times. I've broken almost every rib. Probably every rib in my body at different times, fingers left and right, toes, arms. I've had bone broken off of my thigh bone. My jaw was broken. They severed a nerve at the same time. So I don't have any feeling from up to here all the way down my jawline. Half of my lip is numb, half of my tongue is numb, and that'll just always be because they severed the nerve when the jaw was broken. Dentist did it. Was removing my wisdom tooth, put too much force, crack. Felt my jaw fall and sway to this side. I thought he dislocated it, and so he came and from behind me, he grabbed my jaw and to go put it back in place before checking. And when he did that, he made the bones go over this way, which severed the nerve and created more things to it. So yeah, that's the joy of that. So I have that. So my husband and everybody has to be very careful with me because I break very easy. They always joke and say they were going to put me in some bubble wrap so I don't break, because I can slam a drawer too hard and crack. Oh, here goes a finger, things like that. And number three, I've had my right hip replaced, total right hip replacement. I had that done when I was 44. They originally wanted to do it when I was 30, but then I got a new doctor and he said, let's hold on to that hip as long as we can. And so at 44, I had it replaced. When I was young, I had my hip was dislocated and it wore on the bone a lot. And I had an operation done when I was around 2. So yeah, it was in horrible shape. The doctor was just shocked at the condition when he got in there. So it took a long time, and because of that, he had a hard time putting the regular size in, so he had to go one size up, and they had to manipulate it a lot. And there's 2 big screws in there to hold it, try to hold it in place as well. And so since he had to go this size up, it made my right leg longer than my left now. So I have one leg longer than the other an inch or less, which a lot of people say you can't tell when you see me walking. I got used to that now. Yes, and while they were putting the hip replacement in, they broke off a chunk of bone off the thigh bone, and to stop it from cracking all the way down, they wrapped wire around it. So in my inside, when I get the x-rays done, you see this wire wrapped all the way around. You see these great big screws in there, yeah, to try to hold it in place. And because of the mess it is, I might not be able to have very many replacements on that one. So I'm supposed to keep my weight down, and so I can keep this one as long as I can. And eventually I will need the left one done too. But right now it's okay to still keep it. We're going to try to keep that one as long as we can. Number 4, I was an extra in the movie Goon with Sean Michael Williams, I think his name is. Sean Michael Williams, I think it is. Yeah, Goon. It was filmed in, there was some of it filmed in Winnipeg, and then there was some filmed in Portage-la-Prairie. And Portage-la-Prairie is where I went to be an extra with my daughter and my 2 nieces. And we stayed there a couple of nights and went in, and you'd have to film all night long. And we were in a skating rink. We got to, see all the actors and everything. And yeah, it was really neat. When we came back, they were still filming. They now were filming in Winnipeg, but I didn't go do any more of that. But my daughter did, and my 2 nieces, and my brother. My brother was in it too. And he was going to get a speaking piece, a talking part, because one of the actors who had that role was sick, but he'll end up getting better in time to go back in it. So my brother missed out. He could have had a little acting bit in the movie Goon, but we were all extras. And if you look at the movie, when you see the section where they're at the big ice rink and they're playing, there's a section where they show just behind the goalie. I'm one of the ones right off the gates there, yay, doing this, yay, yay, yay. And you might be able to see me if you zoom in and look. And a lot of there was us extras, but they were limited on how many extras they could have. So they had cardboard cutouts of people. And if you really zoom in and look carefully, you can notice the cardboard cutouts in the stands. So you could be sitting there when we were extras. You could sit in there right next to a cardboard cutout. It was hilarious. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. That was an experience. It was just something fun to do. It was great. Did it before Christmas. Got some extra cash for Christmas. It was a lot of fun. Number 5, I am losing my vision. I have my left eye is my worst eye, and it's almost totally blind. I just have like a pinpoint of vision left there. My right eye is my good eye, but it's not so great either. And I have retinal vasculitis, and I also have a really bad astigmatism, and I have cataracts. And my cataracts are bad, but they can't do anything about it. They can't do surgery on them because of the retinal vasculitis. It won't make a difference because that has robbed me of vision. My peripheral vision is gone. Like I said, I only have a pinpoint of vision in the left eye up here. Missing some chunks in my right eye. So I went and the doctor checked me out and he said there was no reason to do the cataract surgery because it wouldn't make it better. So I am blind in the dark, totally blind when it gets dark out. And I've constantly got to look at the ground when I'm walking because I don't have the peripheral vision, so I don't see the things all around me. And there's been a couple times where I've almost walked into things, like there was this branch sticking out and I didn't see it on my left side because I'm almost all blind in there, and I almost walked into it to poke my eye. Luckily I got stopped in time. Yeah, that was close call. Number 6, I have tattoos. I have 3 tattoos. I have on my left side of my shoulder, I have 2 roses there to represent myself and my daughter. I love those. I love those dearly. My roses. I have one of those stupid back tattoos. Yes, yes, I was one of those freaking idiots who did that. And the worst thing is, she never finished. And she didn't listen. Oh my gosh, I'm one of those nightmare people who got a tattoo done. Uh, I had the picture, I gave her the picture, she did the whole thing, all the 9 yards, and it's this nice little like little filigree stuff with some hearts on it. Well, she decided to do this whole like technique thing, she said, on her own, and oh my gosh, did it ever turn out horrible? I will not show you guys. I do not like showing it. It's not finished. She didn't finish it. It's a disaster, a real disaster, and she did it way bigger than what I wanted. So yeah, luckily I didn't pay for it, but horribly, I'm walking around with that on the back for the rest of my life. Yeah, imagine me when I'm a little old granny with that thing on the back. Ugh, no, not a pretty sight. And so my favorite one is my 2 roses back here, and then my other favorite one is my paw. I have a paw print, and that's to represent all my fur babies, which I love and adore. My fur babies that have passed, and my fur babies now. And that's my paw. I would have got it on the left side, but I have this big vein here, and they didn't want to do it on that side, so I got it on this side, and I love my paw dearly. I love anything to do with paws. Paws are my favorite. Paws and hearts. Love, love, love. And the 7th is... I did kind of touch on that in my other video. I started and ran a rescue. I've always wanted to be like something like a vet tech or a veterinarian, and unfortunately I couldn't do that because of my eyes. So I was working at a pet store, and I decided to start a rescue in the area where I live. I live outside the city, and there really wasn't any rescues out here. So I started a rescue. My husband helped me, and then I got some people on board, and board members, and I got a friend to start it with, to come on board with me and help me, and we ran that for quite a few years. We helped numerous animals. We took in everything, cats, dogs. We took in a chicken that was found roaming around in Winnipeg on the street. We took that chicken in. Her name was Henrietta. Loved her to death. She was the sweetest little thing. We even took in a horse that was found roaming on the highway and had an eye problem. We took that horse in, and we found a home for them to go to. A gentleman who looks after horses, and he has a bunch of horses, and I contacted him, and he took her in. So yeah, we've done it all. It was so great doing it. Unfortunately, I had to step down because of my health. I couldn't do it anymore. And unfortunately, the rescue ended up shutting down because there was nobody to take over and run it, because it's a lot of work. It's 24-hour job, because you get puppies and kittens in that you have to nurse back to health, or you have to bottle feed or tube feed. I've tube fed the animals. I've given shots. I've done everything. Waking up every 2 hours to feed them. But it was a labor of love. I loved doing it. It was all volunteer work, and it was one of the best things I've ever done. Very fulfilling. And number 8, while I was doing the rescue, and well, just when the rescue started and I was still at the pet store before I left it, I went to school and became a dog trainer, and did a little bit of that. I would do my dog training on the animals that we got in the rescue. And number 9, I love to sing. I sing all the time. I don't sing professionally. I don't sing anywhere. I just love to sing. My daughter loves to sing. We sing together. I used to sing with my sister all the time. Hi, sorry, I got cut off. I had to delete a few things in order to make some space. I'm going to make this quick. And my 10th thing is I have narcolepsy and I have a hard time with that sometimes. I have a lot of daytime sleepiness. I have sleep attacks, and I also have cataplexy with the narcolepsy. And so cataplexy is, it's, you lose all muscle when you get startled, frightened, scared, big, any big emotions. You laugh, happy, get really really upset, crying. You have a cataplexy attack, and what it looks like, it's just you lose all muscle control. Your eyes shut, your head bobs forward, and you fall to the ground. You go limp. I can't open my eyes. I can't move. I can't talk, and for a couple of seconds to a couple of minutes, and I can still feel. So if I fell in an awkward position, it hurts. I can feel that. Or if somebody's pulling on me, I can hear everything around me. I just can't talk or open my eyes and move. So it kind of looks like I fainted, but I don't. So it can be very dangerous. That's one reason why I have to go everywhere with my husband, because he is really great at catching me. And because I have brittle bones, I can break very easily. And there's been numerous times where I fell and had awful things happen. I just recently fell. I got startled on the deck and fell, and my hip is aching now. My knee is bruised up, and the side of my face here, because I hit the ground as well. I also get sleep paralysis with it, which isn't fun, and vivid dreams, which seem real when you first wake up, but they're like very intense. And automatic behavior, where you zone out. You look like you're awake, but you're actually sleeping with your eyes open and you're doing something. So like automatic behavior of like crocheting or knitting, you could still do it while you're sitting there. Or if you doing something else on the computer, you're moving the mouse around, turning the volume up and down, changing the channels, that kind of stuff. Or just be stuck there, look like you're watching a show but you're not. And then when you realize it, because you don't know you're going through that, then you look at it and you go, oh, I missed like 20 minutes of the program. Dang it. Then you got to rewind it. So needless to say, it does take us a long time to watch certain movies if they're funny and or startle me and stuff. We got to rewind it all the time. But my husband, he's such a good sport about it. He's okay with that. So you never know. I mean, I could be like, one time I was in the middle of putting laundry away, and so I'm like in the hangers doing all this, but I was in automatic behavior. My husband can tell it like this. And then I have lots of daytime sleepiness. I can sleep because of narcolepsy, so I can sleep 14, 16, 18 hours a day. But when I'm awake, I can stay awake. And I'm a night owl. I can stay awake into the night and everything. But once I fall asleep, that's it. And I'm like, just gone. If I have a sleep attack, I'm like the dead. You can't wake me up. And yeah, so having a narcolepsy with cataplexy is not fun. There's a lot of things that come with it. And I can never go out on my own anymore. I always have to have somebody with me because it's just too dangerous. I can't drive anymore. Because of my vision and because of the narcolepsy, the cataplexy, which is, if you couldn't drive, if somebody startles you, freaking just drop, that wouldn't be good. Yeah, I've fell and broke bones with it. Yeah, it keeps me in the house. A lot of my conditions that I have, my illnesses, and the migraines which I suffer, they keep me in the house because I can get anywhere between 4 to 5 migraines, 3 to 5 migraines a week. Sometimes I've had even more. So yeah, I'm a homebody. I'm stuck at home. My house, my day is at home. And so having this outlet of YouTube is wonderful because I can keep connected with the outside world and have all these friendships that I make with you people. Like, it's just wonderful. I love the friendships I've made with all you girls and guys, and the talking back and forth and that, it's just amazing. It makes me feel not so alone because I'm here a lot of the times alone. I have my little fur babies with me, but when my husband's at work, I'm here all by myself, and day after day after day after day. And it gets to be a bit much sometimes. I really look forward to the comments and the talking back and visiting people on their channels and leaving comments there, and all these friendships that are coming about. I appreciate them so much. They mean the world to me, and I'd love to make more. So thank you for joining me for the 10 Non-Yarny. Thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful day. Bye.